All right, I'm back again. Greg Everett, Catalyst Athletics. Starting off with somebody new. I don't know if Chelsea has been in these videos yet. This is Chelsea, 69 kilo lifter. That went by really quickly. I think that's 85 on there. She lifted at her first national championships this past one in July. Did pretty well. I think 6th place. So top 10, almost top 5 at her first national meet. Pretty impressive. A lot of potential. Mary doing some weighted back extensions. So one of these things that I really like. I love back extensions with and without weight. All kinds of back extensions, or back extension variations. And for a long time, I never really prescribed them explicitly. I kind of just always assumed that people wanted to be better at weightlifting and would do the stuff they needed to do without necessarily being told explicitly all the time. And it turns out that's not entirely true. So I've been prescribing them a lot more regularly. My lovely wife, Aimee, here, warming up with 60 kilos. She is back on a real training program. See her shaking her hand there. She sliced her thumb like a week prior to this video, and so her hook grip was really killing her. But she's back on a real program, training under the direction of Bob Morris, who is a friend of ours and the former resident women's coach at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. So really, really good coach. He actually wrote my program for a year going into the 2012 American Open. So that was kind of fun, not having to write my own program for a little bit and kind of getting a good feel for how another coach like that put together his programs, and picked up a number of things from him that I still use. So that was awesome. Aimee here, 65 kilos, classic Bob No Mercy Morris programming here, starting off with lots of triples. Although this week especially was really light for her since she hadn't been training regularly for quite a while. This is the longest period of time she's really taken off without having a legit program. Brian here doing some tall snatches. Another one of my favorite exercises. I think it's really underused. You can see him getting a little kind of down and up pop there. The big secret about tall snatches is that everybody cheats a little bit. And that's not a big deal as long as it doesn't kind of exceed what you saw Brian doing there with his just a really subtle kind of lead with the hips there. The goal again is to really pull those elbows high, keep that bar close, and produce a super aggressive turnover and move under that bar as quickly as possible. So for him, it's about that proximity of the bar to the body, really using that upper body properly, pulling under, and then also replacing his feet flat on the floor. Those are the two main things we're working on for him with that exercise. So. And those also happen to be the two primary things that most people will use that exercise for. But you can see this is 55 kilos, which is about 110 kilos less than his best snatch. So very light exercise. Again, once you exceed a certain weight, that cheating becomes so much that it's kind of really defeating the purpose. Just there, segment snatch plus overhead squat at 55 kilos. She actually went up to 59 kilos on this, I believe, last weekend, which, interestingly enough, exceeded her all-time best snatch by 2 kilos. So that has turned out to be a really productive exercise for her. I've been having everybody do them. You see Danielle there with segment clean. Everybody on Saturdays has been doing segment snatch plus overhead squat, or segment snatch plus snatch balance, and segment cleans and some kind of jerk complex. So the whole idea with that is really strengthening and reinforcing the proper position off the floor to the knee, making sure they're balanced. So you take someone like Jess, who is pretty explosive, fairly strong, but is really inconsistent with her position off the floor. And so this is really forcing her to feel that proper movement. Danielle cutting that turnover a little short. And so she can consistently be in the proper position at the knee, which makes it, of course, a lot easier to finish the extension in the proper position. and that's coming together really well for her. So I think I do those myself too. I have been doing those on Saturdays for basically since I got back from nationals. So for me right now, lots of segment and pull plus hang work. Kind of work on that last little bit of finish with the legs for me and moving my feet a little better. Blake here, this is probably going to be a segment snatch. I think he's worked up to 100, possibly 102 or 103 on these, with his best snatch being 110. So if there's some kind of technical issue that is limiting the full snatch or clean to some extent, then that segment clean or snatch might get them very close to their top end, just because it can somewhat correct that if it's a positioning issue. Although, of course, it is pretty difficult to snatch from the knee versus the floor, especially the difference between doing a segment snatch or a clean like that versus a hang is that conventionally in a hang, you're going to have a counter movement. So you're going to stand all the way up, lower that bar, and then immediately lift from whatever hang position you choose. So you get a little stretch shortening cycle, which makes it a lot easier to accelerate. Whereas in a segment lift or a pause lift, whatever you want to call it, you're going from a dead stop. So you don't have the advantage of that little stretch reflex in there to give you a little bit boost. So it's quite a bit tougher. Poor Steve here, he got to do segment clean plus 3 front squats plus a jerk. I must have just been in a really bad mood about his legs at this point, because that's pretty shitty. But this is 150 right here, so that's pretty good for him. His best clean and jerk is 170. So segment clean and 3 front squats and a jerk at 150 is a pretty significant chunk of weight. Blake there fighting a little bit in that bottom position. His bottom position has gotten just like orders of magnitude better than when it was when he first came to Catalyst. He was pretty much doing all power variations, so he was really strong and explosive, but if you put him in the bottom position of the snatch or the clean, he just really couldn't support the weight. And so we've had to do a lot of work on that, and it's gotten dramatically better. Danielle there, it looked like wasn't really paying attention. That might have been between 76 and 78 or 79. Aimee here again, little clean and jerk to finish us off. And I will talk to you guys next week.